Okay guys, in today's video we're going to talk through what is commonly known as the illness, wellness, fitness continuum. Now I'm going to take that one step further and add in a couple of points, but the principle behind it is something which I talk to clients quite a lot about, and it's this point of being on a sliding scale. So for example, if we go from being well trained and doing everything that we should be doing, and you're training well, you're eating well, you're a healthy person, and then suddenly you become ill, then when you start to feel better, it's not a case of just jumping straight back in of where you're at. You've got to go back through this continuum. So let me show you. Okay, so if we look here, we've got an arch like this. So please excuse my drawing. At one end of the spectrum, we've got performance. I appreciate my handwriting's terrible, but that's why I'm going to narrate it at the same time. And at this end, we've got chronic illness. Now, at other sections, we've got what I would say here, we've got illness. And we're talking about temporary illness. We're talking about flu, colds, that sort of thing. Up here, we've got wellness. When we talk about wellness, we're talking about health in general. Are you well? Are you going through day to day with reasonable energy, with reasonable health, with reasonable clarity, and without any sort of real survival problems? And then over here, we've got what we call fitness. Now, fitness is going to be in between wellness and performance. So performance, we're looking at optimization in a way. Now, performance isn't what you probably think. It's not being really strong and really fit, running sub 20 minutes, 5Ks and benching 150 or squatting 200 or anything like that. Performance is your body performing for whatever you need it to do. So have you got regular energy? Have you got complete clarity? Now, the point of this video is to just explain that you cannot just go from chronic illness to performance like that. There's no shortcut there. You need to go through the motions. So you need to go from chronic illness to illness, then from illness to wellness, from wellness to fitness, and from fitness to performance. And then if you stop doing the things which take you a step forward, we're going to start taking a step backwards, aren't we? So we're going to go from performance to fitness, from fitness to wellness, from wellness to illness, and illness to chronic illness. And this is where we've got this continuum where you need to do the certain things. As much as we can talk about having a relaxed diet and a relaxed lifestyle and creating memories and living in the moment and all that sort of thing, there still needs to be certain elements of being able to move forward. For example, I love getting ice cream with the kids. But if I live by that every day and have an ice cream every single day with the kids, there's going to be a problem in terms of the excess sugar that I'm consuming. And that could just push me back a little bit for wherever I am on the spectrum at that point. So there's going to be points, guys, where you're not necessarily moving forward and you're not necessarily moving backwards. And at these points, and I would talk about this as these points being a very, very stressful point in your life. Maybe you've got a loved one that's in hospital. You've got an extreme deadline at work which could cost you your job if you fuck it up. The responsibilities outweigh the needs and wants to get forward and get fitter and get stronger. So at that point, you could be anywhere on this spectrum, but you do not want to start ending up over here, okay? No matter what's going on in your life, guys, no matter whether you're struggling with the things that we talked about earlier, there's going to be a point where you are useless if you are unwell. Maintaining your fitness or maintaining your performance are barriers to illness and chronic illness. For example, if you do have a deadline at work and it is really stressing you out, then moving along this way, along the spectrum and the continuum, is only going to end up one way. If you're not looking after your nutrition, if you're not looking after your training, if you're not looking after your health, you're only going to end up ill in the long run. And if you're ill in the long run, you're useless to no one, because your deadline, whatever it is going to get pushed back even further because you cannot work. And this is where we start talking about burnout. It's where we start seeing people with chronic disease. It's where people really sort of like lean into the survival mode, unfortunately. So final point, guys, if you do find yourself moving backwards, then start thinking about, right, what are the smaller things that I can do to get back to moving forwards? So this can be as simple as just eating more fruit and veg, going out for a walk, trying to get better sleep, and just hydrating more instead of just drinking caffeine all the time. And that could be enough just to bring you further back into the wellness protocol, which then you could even maintain for a little bit if you do have some external responsibilities before then pushing back into the fitness or the performance realms. But you cannot go from being stressed, being overworked, being run down, being burnt out, being ill, having chronic illness, having chronic burnout, and go from doing absolutely nothing to then jumping straight back in at fitness or jumping straight back in at performance, what you was doing, because you'll only end up straight back here. You need to build up your central nervous system by going back through all of the motions, which brings you back out to performance. So I hope this helps. Hope it was clear. I hope you understand what I'm trying to get across here. And I'm always open to questions if you've ever got any. But what seems simple sometimes can often get really overlooked. And that's the point of what I wanted to do with this video. Being fit, being strong, looking after yourself is literal superpower if you do the things that you need to do in order to get there. Once you're there, maintaining it is easy, and it is literally a barrier or a coat of armor against being ill. So if you've got any questions, shoot me a message. Hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next video.